already learned something now. Be aware of it. I'm not talking about some loose collectivism, which is necessary. You go to the park with your kids, everybody else does that, or you drive your car. I'm not a fanatic. But in general, you have to see where this ideology is at play. And you certainly do find it in the media, you find it in society, you find it in fashion, you find it in sports. You see, where there's a penchant to be rigid. And a person can decide for themselves how much of it they want to continue doing and how much they want to lose. Again, it's like Aristotle's mean. The mean is not the same for everybody. Everybody will find their own way, to adjust to where they want to go. It's like guitar players, everybody, there's one guitar, but there's so many different kinds of players, I mean, I'm a guitar player, so even if you turn the TV volume down, I can tell who's playing the guitar just by looking at their hands. If it's Dave Mustaine, say it's Segovia, or it's a Jimmy Page, there's a style. Everybody has their own style. Stevie Ray Vaughan. So one guitar, one music, but boom, what have you got? There's something amazing about the human being. He's not a computer. He's not a technological creature in that sense. Technology is subservient to his own organic flow. What these characters want to do is change that dynamic round. They want to make the technological, the scientific, dominant. And that's another big brother mechanism of having everybody fall into regimentation. And the problem is we are ready to buy into it because all the other rooting, all the other cultural roots, all the other psychological pylons have been blasted, have been uprooted. And so as every day goes by, as every month goes by, as every year goes by, we are in fact becoming more and more leaning. We're leaning more and more. We're becoming weaker and weaker. We just don't notice it because it happens slowly, over time, gradually. And therefore, I feel that we're almost going back to the Middle Ages, where lives were full of superstition. People were basically hallucinating most of the time. As I say, we have the veneer of affluence, so we kind of don't see this. We don't realize that affluence can be more deadly a way of controlling people than want. You can pacify rebellion by the carrot more than you can do with the stick. They've done the stick. They've done the stick treatment for thousands of years. It's no longer working. People are leaving the churches. They're getting fed up with a lot of this unsustainable rubbish. So the stick isn't really working too well.
And
therefore, they're now using the carrot method. Very much in the Western Hemisphere, of course, that's the case.
People are waking up for sure. Let's go to a quick break, and we'll be right back with Michael Tsarion.
The soul has no limitation.
From this wider perspective, so much of what we do to each other must have the rest of creation shaking their heads in disbelief. The fact is that someone born in the United States is not more special than someone born in Mexico. Someone born in London is not more special than someone born in Liverpool. Someone who is white is not more special than someone who is black. They're just vehicles for the consciousness to experience. You go down to the seashore and you pick up a droplet of water in your hand. How can anyone say that that droplet is any more or less special than all the other billions and trillions of droplets you see in the ocean before you? It's the perfect environmental and human assassin. It insists every year that we take more from the earth even quicker, turn it into even more things, sell even more things, consume even more things, throw away even more things, to worship the real God of the modern world, economic growth. How can you buy or sell the sky? We do not own the freshness of the air or the sparkle on the water. how then can you buy them from us? Every part of the earth is sacred to my people, holy in their memory and experience. We know the white man does not understand our ways. He's a stranger who comes in the night and takes from the land whatever he needs. The earth is not his friend, but his enemy. And when he's conquered it, he moves on. He kidnaps the earth and his children. His appetite will devour the earth and leave behind a desert. If the beasts were gone, we would die from a great loneliness of the spirit. For whatever befalls the earth, befalls the children of the earth.
Love is there.
And welcome back to Truth Frequency with Chris and Cherie. TruthFrequencyRadio.com is the website, and we are speaking with Michael Tsarion. Of course, his website is michaeltsarion.com, and don't forget to check out his new DVD, Architects of Control, which I have to say is probably one of my favorite documentaries that I've seen recently. Michael, there's several people in the chat room asking, what are some of your favorite metal bands?
I'd say that I've got so many favorites. You know, I like Creator, of course, and I like Candlemass, Black Sabbath, Led Zeppelin. There's so many I could list.
Are there any that are aligned with the truth message?
Oh, many. Creator, a band from Germany, are very much up to speed. I think way so. I mean, the guy was playing guitar and speaking truth from 12 years old or something like that, and 14 years of age when he put his band together. So these guys are way ahead. Leif Edling from Candlemass, a guy I've met and talked to. I have an incredible respect for. He's also one of the most bizarre people I've ever met from an energy point of view. A very, very interesting human being. His band and many of the albums that they have done, you know, have deeply inspired me. But you even have bands like Accept, you know, from the old school, and Judas Priest. I mean, I find that metal is a really interesting kind of music. You know, I've played it myself, always been interested in it. And I think Bruce Dickinson, Iron Maiden are absolutely like the kings of metal, if you want to use that term, because of their constant development. And I've often described the Iron Maiden lexicon as a book of philosophy. If you were actually to get all their CDs, you're pretty much good to go there, because there's a lot of heavy stuff there that's very, very eclectic and brilliant and symphonic and also educational, really way so, and in a very applicable way, you see, because again, not all learning should be a burden, and it's also good to be from a right brain point of view. And I like music because it is the left brain working with the technology of music and amplifiers and things like that, and the skill of singing and all of the different technology that goes into that. But at the same time, these musicians, and I particularly highlight the heavy metal musicians, because they're drawing upon the reservoir of the right brain, and also they have that dose of rebellion, which I like a lot, because they're not conformists. You know, there's a certain level of conformity there, maybe say in the fashion statement or whatever, but it's basically topical. Underneath that, the message is very much a rebellion of message of be yourself and do your own thing your own way. You know, I'm a real big fan of Typo Negative, who I think are exceptional musicians, and I love that gothic metal style. You know, Testament. I really like the band Testament. I think the album The Ritual is probably one of the greatest albums ever made. I know they don't like it too much, but I consider that a very, very brilliant. I love the lyrics in that a lot. I like all of Testament's work. Rob Halford's individual work, Megadeth. I love all of Megadeth's stuff. Even the fans sort of dropped off, disliking some of the stuff that they did in the later part of the 90s. Mm-hmm. I think, what's wrong with you guys? Why don't you listen to the lyrics? You know, they're fantastic. Must also say that their production is brilliant, and as is their technical ability.
Symphony of Destruction, that was one of their best ones, I think.
Yeah, and now we even have Dave Mustaine himself dipping into the conspiracy. They did a latest album on that. He appeared on Alex Jones. So he's a broad-minded guy who's, you know, looking deeply into matters. Earlier on, he was into politics and trying to get people to vote, but I think he realized, you know, that's a dead end. And he evolved very much like Alex Jones himself has done beautifully through the years. These people evolve, you know, and I love to see that. But Metallica, of course, they've done some fantastic work.